Newcastle United have finally come out and put a price tag on Alexander Isak. Now, this is to ward off any potential buyers in January, and it seems like this price tag might just put a lot of clubs off. There is still very much a lot of interest around the Premier League and, of course, in Europe regarding Isak, but this is a lot of money to pay for a striker in the winter transfer window. We've never seen this amount of money spent before because Newcastle have stated that they will not sell Alexander Isak for any less than 150 million quid. That is an awful lot of money, and certainly the likes of Arsenal can't afford that. They just can't. There's no way on earth, especially in the winter transfer window when really prices are very, very tough. You know, you've got the FFP, you've got PSR to think about. There's a lot of things going into the winter transfer window the clubs simply can't do. And Arsenal are certainly one of them clubs that can't afford it. Now, there is talk that Paris Saint-Germain are interested in Isak. Real Madrid, also another club that may be interested. And they've mentioned Barcelona. I have no idea why they mentioned Barcelona because there's no way on this planet Barcelona have money for their own players, never mind 150 million quid to put in a transfer for Isak. Now, obviously, the way football works, it's very rare that a deal goes through for that kind of money and it isn't in installments. But this is a lot of cash, and this will affect a lot of teams when it comes to FFP. So it's a good, bold move for Newcastle United. Eddie Howe has stated that there's more to come from Isak. He states, as the manager, he wants to push Isak to become even better than he is already. He said he's excellent to work with. He certainly never spoke about leaving Newcastle United, and he is fully focused on the project at Newcastle, which is great to hear. And the fact that Eddie Howe is coming forward and saying, I want to work with this player, I want to continue to improve him. He's a fantastic footballer. He's deadly finishing. He's brilliant in front of goal. He makes fantastic runs. He sees players, you know, half a yard quicker than what a lot of defenders do. However, Eddie wants to make him even better than he is already. So that is really exciting news for us as Newcastle United fans moving forward, that Eddie will continue to work with Alexander Isak, because Newcastle, according to this, a lot of reports this morning, they're not worried about Isak leaving the club at all. The player himself has actually stated that he wants to stay. He's happy in Newcastle, wants to keep on scoring goals for Newcastle. And the club themselves, they aren't worried at all by the Isak situation. This has been put across many media outlets this morning online, that Isak is perfectly happy and there's no way that Newcastle United are going to sell him. And that's why they've slapped the 150 million quid price tag on him. Now, obviously, somebody may come forward and offer 150 million. I highly doubt that is possible for any club at the moment, certainly in the winter transfer window. Manchester City, PSG, you think, yeah, they've got the money to do so. But the way the restrictions are in the Premier League and certainly across Europe, it's very difficult. And PSG, quite frankly, I don't think would be of any interest to Alexander Isak to go and play for them. Many times they've signed world-class players, spent massive money on players in order to finally conquer the Champions League, and they fail and they fail and they fail. So I don't see any reason for Isak to even have a slight interest in PSG unless he was a money man. And, you know, I don't think Isak's that type of player. I think he's a born winner. He wants to win things, and hopefully he can win things at the club he's already at, which is Newcastle United. So, yeah, no problem with it. The club aren't worried at all about losing Isak. And quite frankly, this price tag makes it more difficult for all the other clubs. I mean, let me know how you feel on it. I'm really pleased that they've come out and done this and actually put a valuation on his head, just to say to the likes of Arsenal and that, get lost. You know, let's stop all this bull rot about Isak wanting away, Isak wanting to go to London, all of this crap that we keep seeing on a daily basis. The news from Newcastle this morning will hopefully ward off that absolute rubbish, because we know Arsenal haven't got that kind of money. There's no way they can fork out £150 million in January for a strike. Maybe different in the summer window when you can sort of let a lot of players go. You can free up a lot of money at the football club, but certainly not in the winter. And like I say, Isak is perfectly happy where he is. Now, another player that is very much linked to Newcastle United is, of course, Khusanov, who we spoke about earlier on in the week. I did a news show about 3 or 4 days ago when I mentioned this player, when he first appeared in media outlets. It's now known that Jorge Mendes, who is what they call a super agent, who oversees a lot of the very big deals for Premier League teams and the big European teams, he has now got involved in the process of finding the deal for Khusanov. Newcastle United still remain pretty high up in the list of clubs that he wants to go to, if not the top. Kusenov has already stated that he's very interested in moving to the Premier League. Now, of course, he's coming from Lens in France. He'll be moving to a much bigger team, but it's the way he's playing at the moment. This guy is a fantastic footballer. And the fact is we can get him for, it looks like around 25 to 30 million pounds, which in my eyes, for somebody like Kusenov, who was only 20-year-old, remember, is an absolute bargain. An absolute bargain. When you think of a lot of centre-backs and defenders who go for millions and millions of pounds, who never have had any experience, or you look at Mark Gahey, who's 70 million pounds, Kusenov for me is very much a better player. I'll state it now. I think he's a better player than Mark Gahey, and he could be available for 25, 30 million quid. And he's only 20-year-old. If you've watched clips of him, you'll see he's a very fiery character. He's very passionate about what he does on the pitch. He's an excellent tackler of the ball, times his tackles to perfection, but he goes in hard. He likes the hard tackles, and that's the type of player that, we as Newcastle United fans, we absolutely love seeing on a football pitch. We love seeing that competitiveness, and quite honestly, I'd love Kusenov to play in a black and white shirt. But now that Mendes is involved, he knows how to work a deal, and that's why he's called one of these super agents who can oversee the big deals. It's not necessarily a massive transfer deal, but for the player himself, he wants to make sure that he gets the best out of the deal as well, monetary-wise, contract-wise, all that kind of shebang. That's why Mendes has got involved. But Kusenov is very much on the list for Newcastle United moving into January. Now, goalkeeper-wise, there's been lots of reports going around, of course. Yesterday was Kelleher. A couple of days before that was James Trafford. Eddie Howe has now come out and backed Martin Dubravka. Now, I'm not sure what to make of this, because obviously Dubravka has been linked with a move away to Saudi Arabia in the winter transfer window. Apparently, a deal has already been done, and contracts not signed yet, obviously, but are ready to be signed as soon as the window opens. However, Eddie Howe's put a little bit of a block on that and said that it looks like he is set to stay and be our main goalkeeper moving into 2025, folks. He said that despite the rumours that are going around about Martin Dubravka, Eddie said he's absolutely fantastic to work with. He's very low maintenance. He comes in. He's not one of these players that has to have a lot of contact with the manager, that's sort of eager to discuss things with the manager. He said he comes in, he works with the goalkeeping coaches, he works very hard in training, and he's been nothing but a 100% professional. Now, I know everybody's going to look back and say, the Man United thing, and I think Dubravka's put that behind him. I think Newcastle United as a club have put that behind him, and quite frankly, it's a couple of years on now. Let's put it behind us. In my opinion, Martin Dubravka is now giving his all to Newcastle United. Whatever tweets and went out about bullshit to Man United when he was there on loan. Look, it happens in football. I think Dubravka's come back in and he's done very well when he's been called upon. Last season, maybe not. Maybe things weren't right last season with a lot of things with the football club, with injuries, and everybody was all over the place. But since he's come back in for Nick Pope this season, he's been very solid. Plenty of clean sheets, good at coming for crosses. His distribution's been excellent. So, I can understand when Eddie Howe says that he sees him as the number one goalkeeper moving forward into 2025, because obviously Pope's still out for a while. But it's when Nick Pope's fit that is the problem. Is he going to bring Nick Pope straight back in and then put Dubravka back on the bench? I'm sure those conversations have been had, but all Martin Dubravka can do is keep getting the clean sheets and keep performing as he is. And when he plays for Newcastle United now, when he pulls on the Newcastle United shirt, let's support the guy. I know that everybody's not 100% sure on Martin Dubravka, but we have to support him. When he plays for Newcastle, he's playing for our club. Let's give him the backing. And certainly, he does respond to it. And he's done nothing wrong since he's come back. So, look, I'm forgetting what happened with Man United, to be honest. I think now it's a couple of years down the line. We're ready to surely move on from all that and just support the man. But some people won't be able to do that. I know that. Some people will never be able to sort of look at Dubravka the same way, even though genuinely it was only a short-term loan, wasn't it? And he kind of made a mistake when he was there, but it happens, guys. It happens. But it's weird listening to Eddie Howe talk about or read about what Eddie Howe's had to say about Dubravka, because, the press up here we're convinced that he's on his way in January. The talks have took place. The deal's already done. It's a strange one for me. It really is. Would you keep him? Would you keep Dubravka? Or would you be actively looking for another goalkeeper in January? Do we need another goalkeeper in January? Or can we see it through till the summer? There's certainly going to be more options available, I think, in the summer. You know, Kelleher will still be available because Mamardashvili's coming to Liverpool in the summer. So he'll be third in the pecking order when it comes to Alisson and Mamardashvili. So he'll still be there. James Trafford will still be there. Do we realistically need a goalkeeper in January, or is there more important positions that we need to cover? Because I think there is, rather than a goalkeeper. But let me know what you think. Anyway, that's it for now. As I say, fantastic news that Newcastle United finally slapped the price tag on Isak, and that will no doubt put a lot of clubs off. But let me know what you think of it all from today's news again. If you're watching this on Sunday, please don't forget tonight, 7 o'clock, we have the Manchester United preview. We'll take a look at both sides and see where Newcastle United can take the 3 points from the game and, of course, score predictions, etc. So make sure you join us for that. If you have enjoyed the video, folks, don't forget to give it the thumbs up. And, of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. But also don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show in the future. Thank you very much for watching. Have a cracking Sunday, folks. Take care.